Like around 90% of the population, I've always been right-handed, and as an artist, the health of my hands is obviously very important to me. Over 10 years ago, I noticed a small lump on the palm of my right hand, and this turned out to be something called Dupuytren's contracture, which is basically a genetic issue that causes some of the fingers to curl inwards over time. It's quite common after 50 or 60, but I got it in my early 20s back when I was working as a stonemason, and I think it might have been the repetitive strain of carving stone that triggered it early. I was told it would be painless, but I started to struggle with some pain when drawing, and there were times when it really slowed down my work and my creativity. A couple of years ago, I had an operation to release the contracture in my hand, but it still hurts when I draw for long sessions. I actually used to do much more pen and ink drawing, but recently I've ended up doing more watercolour instead because holding a paintbrush is easier on the hands and it doesn't cause it to cramp up the same as holding a pen. On and off I've tried training my left hand to draw, but I didn't really take it too seriously and I usually gave up after a week or two. That was until just over a month ago when I decided I should really commit to training my left hand, and I basically banned myself from working right-handed. And that isn't just for drawing, I've also been trying to do a lot of regular daily tasks like chopping vegetables and brushing my teeth with my left hand too. I've noticed a huge difference in these past few weeks, not only to the quality of my left-handed drawing, but also to my overall creativity. I decided to start from the basics and imagined I was relearning to draw from scratch. I found the Drawer-a-Box course by Uncomfortable here on YouTube, and I'll link that in the description. The first activities are drawing a lot of straight lines and ellipses, so I filled pages and pages of these, just to practice getting the hand-to-eye coordination and muscle memory of drawing simple lines. I've seen a few videos where people take 30-day challenges to train their non-dominant hand just for fun or self-improvement, but this isn't like that. For me, it's really about becoming totally left-handed and allowing my right hand to rest and hopefully heal. I think the key is to commit 100% to it. The brain is very lazy, so if I were to just draw for an hour a day left-handed and then use my right hand the rest of the time, it isn't going to make as much of an effort to rewire itself. The thing is, I'm actually studying a degree in illustration at the moment, so I'm also tackling my next uni project left-handed too. I would say on average I spend at least 4 hours a day drawing, so after a month that's around 120 hours of practice. I'm really surprised how quickly I've improved, and although I'm much slower with my left hand, my lines aren't shaky anymore and I'm really starting to feel more natural just picking up the pen with my left hand. I've also switched to using the computer mouse left-handed, and I think that's really helped too. At first that was pretty frustrating, but after a couple of days I had got used to it, and at this point it really just feels normal. I have heard of other artists switching hands due to accidents or injuries too. The legendary fantasy and comic book artist Frank Frazetta suffered a stroke late in life which left him paralysed down his right side, so he retrained himself to paint left-handed. This really inspired me because I realised that if Frazetta could do this in his 70s, then I could definitely do it too. Brain plasticity is a fascinating subject, and I never fail to be amazed at our inherent ability to learn and develop new skills. I have been practicing writing as well, but I've actually found the fine finger control to be much slower to train than drawing from the arm or shoulder. I found that colouring in or shading with a pencil is great practice for this too. Anyway, I'm sure that with time my writing will improve a lot more, but I'm not really dedicating a lot of time to that because I want to spend more time actually drawing. Another thing I'd like to mention is the whole left brain, right brain idea. So I've never really believed that left-handed people are inherently more creative than righties. There's a popular and pervasive view that the right brain, which controls the left hand, is the more creative side, and that some people are more right-brained or left-brained depending on if they are more creative or more analytical. I found a lot of conflicting information on this topic, but it seems that the left brain or right brain dominance has largely been debunked by neuroscience. Everybody uses both hemispheres of the brain, and creativity involves complex interactions between both sides. It's just that in lefties, the part of the brain that controls motor function develops stronger in the right hemisphere, for reasons that scientists still don't actually fully understand. That being said, I definitely do feel more creative since I've switched hands, and I'm not sure if that's because I'm stimulating the right side of my brain, or if it's just my general motivation and positive feeling that's making the ideas flow more. Something that's quite funny is how ingrained the right-handed drawing process is. For example, drawing the eyes and ears on this leopard, I instinctively started with the left side before realising that I would be covering my drawing when it comes to drawing the other eye. I really have to flip my whole way of approaching a drawing, but I think that with time this will become second nature again too. Overall, changing hands has been such a game changer for me. I feel that a weight has been lifted from me because I can now draw for hours pain-free, which honestly feels like I've unlocked a superpower. For a long time I felt like my hand was betraying me somehow. I'm an artist, I love to draw, it's really what I live for, so to see my hand deteriorate that way really weighed on me sometimes. I think that in the future I'm going to be drawing a lot more with pen and ink again, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where this left-handed journey takes me. If any of you have experienced problems with your dominant hand, or have also successfully managed to switch hands for whatever reason, I'd love to hear about your experience in the comments. To any artists suffering from hand pain or injuries, I hope I've encouraged you not to give up drawing. It might take some time and it will certainly take effort, but it is definitely possible to switch hands. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if so, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Stay positive and stay creative.